In this video, I want to talk to you about the Necchi C700. The C700 is a top-of-the-line sewing, quilting, and utility sewing machine. This machine has a lot of nicer features you'll find on machines that are thousands of dollars. You're not going to find that with the C700. It's a very high-quality machine, well thought out, a lot of features on this model. So let's dive in and take a look at a good overview of all the features this machine has to offer for you. If you're quilting, sewing, you know you need a larger throat machine. Well, from the needle to the inside, the sewing arm on this machine is 9 inches. That's very rare to find in the machine of this quality and this caliber. You're going to get very easy threading on this machine. It has the horizontal spool pin. You also have a vertical spool pin. If you want to do twin needle sewing or use a larger cone of thread, you can get a larger spool stand just to set to the next to it if you're wanting to use a really big cone of thread. But everything's going to be channeled for me all the way down to my needle. And then I have the built-in needle threader on this machine to thread that needle for me. I like how all the computer controls are right here in front of me. I have a 5-inch color screen on the machine. It's laid out very easy. You don't have to push a lot of buttons to get to where you're wanting to go. Everything is thematic of how it's on the computer board. So my utility stitch, I have a utility stitch mode of stitches you're mostly going to use for your garment construction. There's 4 different pages of those. I have a little place on the side here. I can put a stylus if I want to use that to touch the screen. But let's say I pull up this stitch here. Now as I adjust my width right here and the length that's right here easy in front of me, I know the millimeters I have it set to. If I want to go up, I can go up and the machine will automatically show me the exact size this stitch is. That does away with me having to get test swatches, waste a lot of time, fabric, thread. You're going to see how that stitch is going to look before you even do anything. It does have the automatic tensions. We can override that in the computer screen. If you run into a question or a problem on tension, pick up the phone and give us a call first. We can talk you through things over the phone so you don't have to do a lot of that. And it's rare you're going to have to adjust the tensions anyway on this machine. It's just the way that it's made. The tension system is so precise. I can go into other stitches on the machine. I have a lot of appliques. There's over 700 stitches built into this machine. You have alphabet fonts. If I want to make a garment tag, I have all these different alphabet fonts. I can do upper and lower case, numbers and punctuation for making a quilt label or garment tag or anything like that. So I go back to the utility mode. The machine will show me on the screen and recommend a presser foot for the application that I'm doing. Now when you talk about the machine and how it feeds, it does have the dual feed system built in. That is a built-in walking foot or even feed foot. You're going to have that at your beck and call any given time. And we'll show you later in the video how this works. I really do like the box feeding system this machine has. There are 7 places the fabric is touching these feed dogs. It's a big wide feed dog. The more surface area I've got touching my material is for lighter weight. It's just going to help it feed it so much evenly, smoothly, and reducing puckering. You have the best of both worlds of having the even feed foot built in at any given time. All I have to do is pull it down. It's locked, it's engaged now, and it's going to grab the fabric at the top. So if I'm working with a fabric that has a slick finish to it, heavier fabric, even in the garment grade leather, it's going to be able to feed all that through at one time. Quilters will really love this with that bottom, your squishy batting, and the top being able to feed all that through at one time. A lot of times when you have skip stitches, your fabric shifts in here as your machine is trying to feed the material. If you don't have a walking foot on it, it's going to shift and your fabric is going to either have skip stitches, you may even break stitches. You don't have to worry that anymore with the C700, having that built in all at one time. I do like how we have the extra high lift under the presser foot. I can raise and lower the presser foot by the touch of a button. There's also a lever here that I can use. It will have the auto pivot feature. When I get to the end of a seam, I can set it to automatically raise the presser foot up with the needle in the fabric so I can turn a corner. All my computer controls are right here in front of me. I can override the speed of the machine here. Now the machine will come with a foot control, and the foot control is very advanced. You can actually preset 4 different modes. So if I want to have the machine, by me touching the foot control, speed the machine of course, but if I want to use the scissor, I can program it to hit the back pedal, and it'll also snip the thread or do the needle up, needle down, do the pivot, whatever you want to set it at. It's very easy to do that. But I will have the push button scissor that will snip that bobbin and the top thread for me at any given time. I do have the automatic memorized needle up and needle down. There's times I want my machine to stop needle in the fabric if I'm getting to the end of a seam or if I want to turn a corner, and I want to make sure, and that will make the stitch look so much prettier, so much more professional on top. But there's times, most of the time, you want the machine to stop needle out of the fabric. You know, I forget a lot of times that I have my needle on a mechanical, it doesn't know where to stop. If I'm not paying attention, I could rip my fabric or break a needle or bend a needle. You won't have to worry about that anymore with the C700. It's going to do that for me. Of course, I do have that needle, be able to raise and lower the needle, but also I can raise and lower my presser foot just by the touch of a button. Now, if you don't want to use the foot control, you do have the start-stop button that I can push, and it will operate the machine for me. I do have the automatic tile feature. Now this is going to tie the stitch off underneath so it's hidden and out of the way. No more ugly back tacks. On mechanical machines, you're going to have the reverse, which this will have the traditional reverse, and you'll be able to see where you back tack that particular stitch. You don't have to worry about that anymore with the 700. It's going to tie that off underneath so it's hidden and out of the way. I have the larger needle plate, metal needle plate. It does have seam allowance markings on it. You can get a magnetic seam gauge if you wanted to. It's not going to do any damage to your machine whatsoever if you need to keep the fabric straight. It will have the top drop-in bobbin. There's also increments on the bobbin cover as well to help you achieve certain seam allowances. The bobbin is going to be just as easy to thread as your top. It's channeled as well, and there's a little razor built in to trim that off. As well, there's a razor here on the side of the machine. This machine is well thought out with the larger throat space being 9 inches. You got plenty of room in here to roll your finished product up if you're quilting, but if you're working with larger garments, it just gives you more support to the right. It does come with an extension table made to fit right around the sewing arm. And that's another nice thing about this machine is the accessory tray that's on this particular machine. It opens up both ways like this. I can look down, see my attachments, get what I need, and then I'm ready to go right back to sewing. This machine will have the drop feed lever on it as well, so if I'm doing free motion stippling, I'm able to do that with no problem just by flipping a lever. I get ready to raise the feed dogs back up, and I just flip the lever and turn my hand wheel, and the feed dogs will raise back up. This machine does have the knee lift. Now the knee lift, what it's going to do for me, if I'm doing free motion, I can use my knee as an attachment that plugs right in the front. And we'll have more information on the website about a lot of the features, all the attachments that comes with it. Every little detail of this machine, we will have more information. If I keep both hands on the fabric, if I'm doing free motion or just sewing in general, I can use that to raise and lower the presser foot, or just hit my button here to raise and lower that presser foot for me. As I get into the computer screen, it's really laid out easy for me to get to all the different functions of it. We have no problem whatsoever. I can go into the hard drive and change some of the settings. There are tutorials built in on this machine. We'll have great information on the C700, plus you get Ken Sewing Center's premium support package with your purchase. You have us for the life you own your machine. I have 4 technicians at my store, several educators to help you with any question that you have about operation. If you feel like you're having an issue with your machine, we can troubleshoot that over the phone. We do it every day, and we're glad to help you. We want to be the one to help you with anything you have need of. The machine will have a USB port on the side, so if I want to make my own stitch, I have the ability to do that. As time goes on with updates, you can update the hard drive of this machine, so your machine will always stay the very latest that's out. There's even a little magnet here on top if you want to put extra pins or a small scissor or anything like that. I do have the top drop-in bobbin, but I also have the top winding bobbin. If I want to wind my bobbins, I can do it right here. I don't have to get an extra bobbin winder to wind bobbins. Now let's do a little bit of sewing on the C700 just to show you, and show you also the dual feed system that's on this machine. First we're going to sew without the dual feed engage. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you extremely heavy to extremely lightweight. Now we do this quite often with a lot of the more quality models, but this is roughly the side seam on a pair of denim blue jeans. This is 8 layers of general garment grade denim you'd find in any high-end denim blue jeans. I have that extra high lift under my presser foot. Now I've got it lowered. I'm ready to sew. So let's go back to home. We'll go into sewing. We'll go into straight stitch. I can change the length right here on the front of the screen. We'll just leave it here. I'm going to back the speed down just for demonstration purposes, and I'm going to use this without the foot control just for demo purposes here. And you'll see the needle penetrating power. You're going to see the power of the top drop-in bobbin system, how it can crawl down on 2 other garments, thinner garments. And you're going to see this machine's not going to pucker even with the dual feed disengage. So let's go. We'll speed up just a little bit. Get right up on the edge of that denim if we want to. The machine's going to be able to feed that with no problem. It's not in a bind whatsoever. We'll speed it up just a little bit. Now I'm going for a standard cotton. That automatic tension is coming into play, so I don't have to worry about anything on the tension. And then I'm going to show you full speed, and then we'll do a tile. It hums right along, very quiet machine. It's going to tie that stitch off for me. I grab my fabric. I'm going to hit my scissor and snip that thread for me, and the machine automatically raises that presser foot up for me. So that is really nice to have on a machine. So I went through 8 layers of denim, through a cotton, and then through a stretch material with no problem whatsoever. I haven't changed the tension or anything like that. Now let's engage the dual feed. All I have to do is grab this lever, there's specialized presser feed that comes with the machine. Now my walking foot is engaged. I have no problem whatsoever. I'm going to go through a layer of denim, I'm going to go through a layer of cotton, and I'm going to go through the layer of stretch to show you. I'm going to have the stretch on top so you can see that it's not going to do any puckering whatsoever. So I'm going to lower that presser foot. There we go. Back that speed down just a little bit so you can see that dual feed work. You quilters are going to love this. If you're working with a material that's extremely difficult, maybe the fabric has a slick finish to it or something like that, or even up to garment grade leather with no problem. I love how it raises that presser foot up for me. I've snipped everything. There's no puckering whatsoever on this garment. That's from extremely heavy through a cotton through the stretch material is perfect. Ken Sewing Center is your authorized Necchi dealer. We carry every Necchi model, all parts, and all accessories. You're going to get our premium support package with any machine purchase from my store. You have us for the life you own your machine. You have somebody at our store that cares about your order and cares about your problem. We have more information on the website, but if you need us to compare this machine to any other brand or model or any other model within the Necchi line, just pick up the phone and give us a call or drop us an email, and one of our sales associates will get right in touch with you. Thank you for watching our video, and have a great day.